Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I just got back from a trip recently, so I thought I'd go over a few of the things that I found helpful for my trip. Now typically I do try to travel with carry-on only to avoid any sort of baggage fee. However, with Southwest baggage policies, I wanted to take advantage of them before they stopped, so I did bring my longboard with me, hence the big gun case in the back. So I was able to sneak a pocket knife and some other items in with my checked luggage that I wouldn't normally be able to carry on. Now, if I were traveling strictly by carry-on, one of the first things you have to do is make sure that you have no knives and no liquids over 3 ounces. So this multi-tool would immediately have to go. In place of the tools, I do have a whole tool pack in here so that I know I've got something to do the job, even if it's not as accessible as the multi-tool is. For a blade now, what you can do is you can use a utility knife and just take the blade out, travel with just the handle, and then you can just buy new blades when you get there. Another way I like to get around this is by using scissors. I've seen a lot of different videos about different TSA approved scissors, and I do like these Fisker ones that fold up. They're pretty durable. They're relatively cheap. They are under 4 inches, so they're TSA approved. And what I like to do just to make it look a little less ominous is, instead of carrying it in my fanny pack with the rest of my EDC stuff, I'll carry it with my crocheting, because I'm going to be using it for that anyways when I'm on the flight. The other part that you have to get around is liquids. So I take all the liquids that I have in the fanny pack out and put it in one bag. That way I know that I can go through it when I get to my destination and put everything where it needs to be. And the only liquids I'm currently holding in that fanny pack is a little bit of energy gel, a lighter, some contact solution, and then I have some hand sanitizer in here. So these are bottles that I specifically bought. I don't remember how many ounces they are, but they're definitely under 3. And they work really well to decant any of your other liquids that you might need, like if you're traveling with shampoo, conditioner, that kind of stuff. However, I have a solution for that too. Alright, so I use bar everything. I found some of this stuff in effort to, avoid some water waste and stuff like that in our products, but I found that I actually really like how this bar shampoo and conditioner feel in my hair. So I've actually been using those exclusively, and it just makes it more convenient for carry-on travel because you don't have to worry about liquids with these items. So I use solely bars. Another thing to consider when you're traveling with a carry-on is water. I hate paying for water, so I usually just bring a small water bottle with me and fill it up at the airport. This water bottle is very flexible and will fold up super small. So it hardly takes any room in your backpack, and then when you get through security, you can just fill it up at one of the water fountains. So let's talk bags. The 3 main bags that I do bring, even when I'm just have my carry-on, is my fanny pack, the small little backpack, and then my main bag, which all my carry-on stuff is going to go into. So with the fanny pack, depending on how much I have to pack in my carry-ons, I might actually have to titrate that down a little bit more with all the supplies that I have in it. I really don't like doing that because, it has everything pretty much that I could need in most situations. So it is helpful to have, but when you're traveling, you do have to take space into consideration. So I might have to go through that and pare down depending on what kind of trip I'm making. I like to pack this backpack, and yes, I put a backpack in my backpack, but I hate having bags that are too big for the purpose. And in order to use my carry-on backpack, I'd have to empty everything out of it, and sometimes I can get away with just this small bag. So you see it fits in this bag that's, about as big as my hand, so it's not very large. However, it does open up to a pretty decently large backpack. It's got one pocket in the front here and one large one in the back. I was able to fit discs in here just to kind of give you an idea. Went to play some disc golfing. So the disc will fit all the way and only takes up maybe half the height of it. So this was great for biking trips and things like that. If we were going to be doing any biking where we would plan on leaving the bikes and having to carry our stuff with us, I would empty this one and take this one out with me, because this backpack, well, to start off with, it's the perfect size for a personal item. It is as big as you can get for it to still be counted as a personal item. And then this piece right here is a flap where you can put a helmet underneath. That's great for bike trips, for when you do plan on leaving your bike locked up somewhere, but you need to bring your helmet with you. You can just slide it in there. However, in the airports, I actually use it much more for a different reason. What I like to do is I like to take off my bulky jackets so I'm not walking around the airport with them and getting all hot. And then I'll just stuff the jacket or sweatshirt or whatever layer in this pouch. So that's about it. If you have any other questions on how, traveling with this stuff has been, you can ask me in the comments. Until then, see you next time.